Donkey Kong Bonanza is literally Mario Odyssey 2, and there's so many reasons why, and I kind of want to go over all of them today. We don't really know the developer, even though it's been kind of hinted at, which we'll go over here in a second, but I think it's safe to say that it's clearly being developed by the Odyssey team, because every bit of this game reminds me of Super Mario Odyssey in the best way possible. But before we dive in, real quick, I want to say thank you so much to the over 1,000 people that subscribed the other day. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we're probably near our goal already. Almost 350,000 subscribers. You guys are so amazing, but thank you again. If you enjoy the content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. You don't want to miss all these great Switch 2 games coming out soon. Why does Donkey Kong Bonanza remind me so much of Super Mario Odyssey? And you might not know if you didn't watch all the treehouse and maybe some of the clips on the official website, so let me share them with you right here. But before we dive into that, we have actual information from Nintendo of America's Vice President, Bill Trinan, who won't claim and confirm that the 3D Mario team is working on Donkey Kong Bonanza, but kind of alludes to it by saying, "It's a very good question. You'll have to stay tuned. We always like to start by showcasing the game and getting people focused on the gameplay, but we'll have some information to share about the developer in due time." Now, yes, I know that seems like a nothing answer because it pretty much is, just saying, wait, we'll talk about the developer later on, not really giving us anything to go off of. But we don't necessarily need anything to go off of besides the, original reveal trailer and a couple of treehouse segments, because this game is Super Mario Odyssey coded down to the T. And let's just start talking about why I think this. One, everything I've seen so far shows that these seem to be little open worlds, or what I like to call open sandbox zones, very similar to Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and of course, Mario Odyssey, which allows Donkey Kong to explore the region and collect things at his own leisure before moving on to the next one. It does have a little bit of a different approach though, this time having sub-levels. Each world seems to have a certain amount of sub-levels that go deeper and deeper, which act as even more smaller chunks of open worlds for Donkey Kong to explore, or smaller open zones if you will. For instance, let's say Lagoon Layer has 7 sub-layers, which means each individual layer kind of works like a small open zone from Super Mario Odyssey. Let's take the Sand Kingdom from Odyssey for example. If we actually go to the Sand Kingdom, and let's say if it was a lot smaller, but instead it was separated within sections, so every new section of the Sand Kingdom was a different sub-layer. For instance, maybe the levels where you go inside of the pyramid are those sub-layers, and instead of having a bunch of different areas to go, you're just going lower and lower and lower, sub-level after sub-level after sub-level. So it's still kind of following Mario Odyssey's pattern, giving you these mini versions of these open sandbox levels. Another thing, in this game, your main objective is to collect these things called Banandium gems, which are essentially power moons. These things could be anywhere. For instance, you can see you can dig underground in order to find these. Donkey Kong punches them 3 times, and they break open, also giving you a quick description. For Mario Odyssey, it will say you got a moon, followed by a description of how you got that moon. Donkey Kong has to punch the banana, like I said, 3 times in order to eat the banana, which is him essentially collecting it. Instead of you got a moon, it says, "Oh, banana," referencing DK64, followed by what you did to get that banana, giving it its own little mission title. In Mario Odyssey, you can also get these things called Grand Moons, which is a combination of 3 power moons into one with a little crown above it. These are given to you for completing a major mission like taking out a boss battle. And it looks like for DK Bonanza, the same exact thing applies. After you take out this thing called a Void Stick, it opens up the next entrance to the next sub-level, giving Donkey Kong a bunch of bananas, this time being a bunch of 3. Instead of a crown on top, it forms into a big diamond where the bunch is connected. In Mario Odyssey, you fast travel to a location by opening your map and then clicking one of the checkpoints that you already grabbed. Mario's hat will fling to that checkpoint, very quickly taking you to that location with a very minor load time. And the same thing applies to Donkey Kong Bonanza. For instance, if you've already gotten a checkpoint, you can simply just warp there, thanks to this new fish creature that jumps up, grabs Donkey Kong, and takes you to the next location with a super quick load time this time around thanks to the power of the Switch 2. Mario Odyssey allowed you to collect these purple coins from each kingdom in order to purchase outfits, where you could actually give Mario tons of different costumes thanks to these crazy cap shops. When I say there was a lot of costumes, there was truly a lot of costumes. Well, it seems like Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to have the same thing. As Donkey Kong breaks through this wall, he picks up a fossil that states, "Trade for new fashion items at any style shop." In fact, I've already seen a couple of areas that look like it could be somewhere where you buy these costumes. There's this little crystal that's shaped like a house for some reason. I don't think this is it, but it could be related to costumes in some way. This place looks more likely to be a shop, as there's a giant neon sign and some type of crystal guy out front holding what looks to be some type of balloon or lollipop in some type of can of something. It could be a shop for something completely different, maybe for power-ups or something, but I think we're going to see a shop very similar to Crazy Cap that looks like this. I mean, it's really not that surprising considering the fact that the first time we see Donkey Kong in the trailer, he's actually wearing overalls and a miner hat. Maybe for some reason you still don't believe me. Well, let's just look at the base movement. Mario Odyssey is known for Mario's movement. He can dive, he can roll, he can dive in mid-air after a ground pound, he can even spin really fast in order to go really quickly into his roll and into sprinting momentum. Even for a game like Donkey Kong, he may not move as fast or as quick as Mario, but he still has very similar moves. For instance, he can even roll just like his classic 2D games, but it looks very similar to Mario Odyssey's roll as well. He can also do very quick spins like Mario could in Mario Odyssey. He could even pick things up like Mario could in Odyssey as well. Now, because he can't move as quick as Mario, he does trade in some of that speed for strength, and of course he doesn't have Cappy, so he has to have something different. And for Donkey Kong, he's able to climb up surfaces, pick things up and aim and throw them, and even punch and roll into enemies. Just like Mario's dive roll, Donkey Kong also has a roll jump as well, which is very similar. I know this is directly being pulled from his 2D Donkey Kong Country games, but it's still a really Mario Odyssey style of movement. And while we're here, Donkey Kong also has little time challenges like we've seen in Odyssey. For this one, he hits this triangle or pyramid and actually has to blast through his DK barrels all the way to the end, taking out all the blocks along the way in order to be granted the banana. We've seen things like this many times in Super Mario Odyssey. This is just one of many examples where Mario hits the P-switch, has to race around these blocks that appear, grab the key in order to grab the power moon that appears from it as well. I just thought I'd add it too, because why not? But Donkey Kong also does a stop ground pound in mid-air by just slamming his fist downward. This is pretty much exactly the way Mario does it in Odyssey. You could even see like the jagged just immediately stop in ground pound in mid-air, which Mario has when he ground pounds and does his little dive. And on top of all of that, this game also has bonus rooms that you have to sing in order to open up, and once you go inside, there are 3 hidden Banandium gems that you must find when you're in there, where 2 of them are more on the easier side to find, and 1 of them is really hard to find. Now, this is literally Mario Odyssey's bonus rooms. Even the design and the blocks and everything, it just screams Mario Odyssey with the color endless void in the background, the blocky obstacle course. This is essentially the same exact thing. Because for Mario Odyssey, you have to find a hidden pipe or a hidden door that will then take you to these bonus rooms, and instead of there being 3, there's 2 power moons. One is easy to find, which is just the end of the path, and the second one is a little bit more of a challenge. In Odyssey, when you end a course, you capture one of these rockets that then blast you out of the area, where in Donkey Kong Bonanza, you simply jump into a barrel which blasts you out of the area. We can even look at the dialogue and text boxes, as it has the name of the character you're talking to in its own little box above the dialogue, and there's even options for you to choose, such as listening to Cranky Kong's story or not. Mario Odyssey has the same exact interface, with the name of the character that you're talking to in a little slanted box, followed by little options that you can choose in its own separate boxes, depending on the character that you're answering to as well. If you really want to get technical, Super Mario Odyssey features Pauline, and she's kind of like the main voice of the game, if you will. Like, she's a major character with the whole Metro Kingdom, and she sings probably one of the most popular Mario songs ever now with Jump Up Superstar. Thanks to the Korean website leak, we know that little rock buddy that Donkey Kong has on his shoulders the whole game is actually Pauline in some sort of form, at least young Pauline, and we don't know why. Is it regular Pauline that's cursed? Is it Pauline's kid? Is this a time travel mechanic thing? Who knows, but I mean, come on. Look, there's probably even more that I missed, but overall, you could just look at this game's art style and its direction and tell that it is just all inspired by Super Mario Odyssey. And it's very clear to me that the Odyssey team has been working on this Donkey Kong game this entire time. Not to mention, it's actually been a rumor for the last like 4 years that the Odyssey team was working on a Donkey Kong game. The fact that we haven't gotten Odyssey 2 and we still haven't seen 3D Mario since 2017's Mario Odyssey, it goes to prove that this is probably more than likely made by the Odyssey team. But let me know down below what you think. Is this a good thing that it's just like Odyssey? Personally, I love it. And I love how it's like a spiritual successor to that game, because Odyssey was great with just a couple flaws. And if they could just get some of those ironed out, this game could be even greater than what Odyssey was in 2017. But let me know if I miss anything down below that maybe references Odyssey even more. And let me know if you enjoyed that or not. But leave a like and subscribe before you head out today. And thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.